welcome to the Wars and Weapons channel. In my last video, I talked about the history and creation and variants of the swords, and I told you to tell me in the comments what should the contents of my next video be about. Now, there was only one comment that recommended that we should make a video about the history of East Asia, which we're going to do right now. East Asia is actually a region pretty rich in both history due to wars and inventions in there, and rich in wealth because of the money and other things that was there, resources that was there back at the time. And China actually has the second largest GDP right after the United States. Now, the East Asia is actually a region within the Asia, as you know, and it's made of 5 major countries and 2 countries that you could say are a part of and you could say they are not. The 5 main countries being China, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, and Mongolia. Now, the other 2 countries are Taiwan and Hong Kong, which are, some people count them as a part of the Republic of China, and some people count them as separate and different countries. It's yours to decide what it is. The 2 of the world's top 3 world conquerors, the ones that conquered the most amount of lands, actually lived in Mongolia, which is a part of East Asia, as I said. Both of them being Genghis Khan in the first place and Timur being in the 3rd place, with Alexander the Great being in the middle of both of them in the 2nd place. Now, Mongolia, as you know, actually had lots of wars and lots of things, and especially under the rule of these 2 leaders that managed to unite the tribes, they managed to capture lots of lands. And the reason for this was actually because of their military experience. You may ask, well, what military experience did they have? They never ran campaigns before. Well, the reason was, in those areas, they were living in tribes, like small tribes, small cities, and other things. Like, one city would launch an attack on another, the other city will launch an attack on the other, and so on. So with this, actually, any of those ones who you see in the army is in their first battle in the campaign actually had survived multiple battles before. Like, he has more experience swinging that sword than I have experience actually living. It's around 15 years of experience. That is how experienced they were when they were fighting, which actually allowed them to expand their empires into great extents. And the other things in this region are actually about China. The 4 great inventions of China that I talked about on the other video, told you to Google it and see what it is. But in this video, I'm actually going to tell you what they are. The first one is gunpowder, which we included in another video that you should go and watch. The second one is the printing press, which actually revolutionized paper writing and other things, which actually isn't used in that form today. It's actually used in another form that was invented by Gutenberg in Europe. Now, the third most important thing are paper making. The Chinese actually made the first ever papers. They developed later until they became the paper we are using to write today. And the last thing of these inventions, one of the greatest one of them, it's still being used today, just like the other 3, it's the compass. Some people still, like in some areas, your Google Maps will not work. But what always does work is the compass. You grab a compass and the map of the area you're in, and you will easily be able to find your way back. Also, did you know that there is a structure in there, one of the 7 great wonders of the world, being the Wall of China? Now, the Wall of China is actually one of the greatest man-made structures in the entirety of the planet Earth. Now, the construction of this wall also has a story of its own. There is a theory that actually says the wall can be seen from space. This is how big it is, but we don't know. I haven't looked at it from space to tell you if it's true or not. But the reason this wall was built was to actually stop raids coming from the steppe. To the fact, in China, northern Chinese states were having great problems with raiders and the steppe tribes coming and raiding their villages. So they decided to make something within the northern borders of the Chinese states at the time. China actually has more lands to the north right now than it had back then. So the wall of China is basically placed in the middle. They decided to make this wall in order to stop the raids from happening. Anyway, we will include the rest of the fun and interesting information in another video because it will be too long if we're going to feature them in this one. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the war bell to be notified of the rest of the wars that will occur on the channel later. Thank you for watching again. Make sure to tell me what should my next video be about in the comments, and stand by for the next video.